Okay, we've got our beams up and we're ready to install our rafters. The first thing we want to consider is the location of the outside rafters. Now, I prefer to put the outside rafter right in line with this column cap, right down here. That's how your CAD drawings are going to have these laid out as well. If you choose to move the first rafter in because of a roof location or just personal preference, you can put the rafter out a little farther, you can put the rafter in a little farther. That won't hurt a thing. You just want to make sure that you evenly space out the rest of your rafters. So, given that we're going to follow the CAD drawings today, I'm going to make my first mark right here, exactly on the edge of this beam. Okay. I'm going to come in 2 inches. I'm going to make another mark. I'm going to put an X in the center. That's the center of my first rafter. I'm going to come down here to the other side, make a mark on the outside edge, one at 2 inches, and an X in the center. So now we're going to want to determine the spacing between our rafters. Okay, I've got center here to the center here is right at 94 inches. Whenever we're laying out the rafter spacing, we always want to work from the center. It will prevent you from taking the factor of the rafter width into consideration by accident. So we work on the center, and we know that a 10-foot kit, what we have here today, has 4 total rafters. So we've got our outside rafters and our 2 inside rafters, and that leaves us 3 spaces to divide out evenly. If you have a 12-foot kit, a 16-foot kit, anything different from that 10-foot, you're going to have a different amount of rafters. So don't use these measurements exactly. Check your CAD drawing, check your kit, how many rafters you have, and space those out on your own. But 94 inches, 3 spaces, we're going to divide that by 3. That's 31 5/16 inches. And we're going to take our first rafter here, put it in the center, come 31 5/16. So we're going to make a little mark. Up. 31 5/16. Okay, we're going to come out here to 62 5/8. Make another little mark. Okay, again, that's the center of the rafter. I take my tape measure and I mark out each side of it. Make my X. Repeat that step here. Make my X. So now we know the location of each one of our rafters and they should be evenly spaced. We're going to take those measurements and we're going to transfer them to the back beam. So you've got everything laid out and you're ready to drill and hang your rafters. So we're going to come on over here. We've got our rafters set out, and I like to line all these up nice and square. So we're doing our measurements and marking. It goes really quickly. I know the measurements here, front beam to back beam is 95 inches. And I have a 120-inch rafter. So 120 minus 95 leaves me 25 inches of total overhang. I'm going to split the overhang in half. So we're going to have 12.5 inches of overhang here, and we'll match that 12.5 inches of overhang on the back side. So with 12.5 inches, I'm going to lay out my tape measure, grab my pencil, come into 12.5, go 1 extra inch to 13.5, and make my mark. Now, I do that extra inch because I want my hole in the center of this beam. Okay? The second beam here is 7 inches from the center of this beam. So I come 13.5, add 7, gives me 20.5. I'm going to take my speed square here, double check these are flush, and make our marks. We've got our vary bit, and we're going to drill out our rafters on the center of those marks. Now we use this vary bit because it makes a nice big hole, and we've got room later to get our tool inside there. Those holes are going to get covered up by your purlin holder, so don't worry about the size of the hole. Okay, holes are drilled. I'll save you the time and not drill the other ones on camera. Those back ones we already drilled. So once you have all your beams drilled out, you want to make sure you have your screws. Here again, rafter to beam, really simple. Take those out, put some in your pocket, and you go ahead and start laying out your beams. Now, just to be sure, we're going to real quickly and carefully double check that we're 12.5 inches. And we are. So, grab some screws here. All right, simple as that. You want to make sure those fasteners are all the way down. Just like the beam, it's going to try and pull up at the last second, but then once you get it all the way through, it'll suck down nice and tight. So once you get your rafter screwed down, you screw down the same on the back, lay out the rest of your rafters, fasten all those down, and you're ready to attach your purlin holders.